elbow skin.
Yep.
And then I can turn my hand around and then I can kind of work along there like that.
Wow.
So right into that ankle.
Yeah.
And I can go around that way as well to go to get more lateral ankle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I want to have a stroke that I want to hit into this spot here and then go along inside the big toe there.
Yep.
Hey guys, just letting you know that our next intake of our mentorship and Bodywork certification program is in February. So spaces are filling up fast. So if you're really interested, the first intake's been incredible. The mentorship aspect has been unbelievable for Ninja and I. Running 2 webinars a week and having constant interaction with our students has been amazing. The results our students have been getting straight away has been incredible. If you are a body worker and you want to upskill, you want better results, you want to know a really unique, effective way to treat the body, book your interview with Ninja and I and see if you're a perfect candidate, because the spots are running out fast. So click the link in our bio, book your interview, and we'll have a chat.
G'day guys, it's Ninja, Darcy here. Just going to show you some feet treatment today. So on the top of the foot, so Darcy has had a bit of problems with his feet of late, on the top of his foot. So what we want to do is get you to have a bit of a move around, go up on your toes and stuff, and try and replicate and try and find exactly where that spot is in your foot.
So I guess give them a little bit of background of what happened first. So probably you actually at the game, Ninja was there not that long ago. We were playing footy and I've kicked someone, I've tried to kick the footy and I reckon I've kicked someone's shin or knee. So I've sort of gone to kick the footy and whack, and I've run off the ground like, you know, the world's ending. Like I've fractured something in my foot. It was so much pain, it felt bruised. And then I probably struggled to actually feel, to kick the footy because the top of my foot was bruised. And now I'm left with this residual soreness. I wake up in the morning and I get out of bed and I feel like that first few steps, it just takes me a little bit to get going. So I thought, Ninja, fix it, film it, do a live one, a real one. So yeah, you've asked me to move around. So it's probably like up onto my calves. I can sort of feel like some stuff in between the toe there.
Oh yeah, like, little junction. Yeah,
in there. And sprinting and things, when I'm sprinting, it's not too bad warm. It's probably more when I'm cold. So whatever that means.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want to, like that's okay. Yeah, a bit of a scrunch is a bit sore maybe in the arch, but that's probably just some normal tightness. But maybe you could try a bit of a lunge. Yeah, okay, so I can feel some stuff in that normal junction point of the ankle too there, Ninj, but yeah, I feel like you're the master wherever you feel like you want to go, man.
Yeah, so what I want to sort of show, and if you want to learn this sort of stuff, we've actually got a course running right now. I'm going to run another intake in February. So this is how we kind of go about a bit. So we'll give you a little bit of insight in what you could get, what you could learn.
Yeah, what might be inside the course.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do with Darcy, we're going to he's in a seated position. So this is like a natural kind of posture. So I'm just going to do just a general warm up of his foot.
Oh yeah.
This one I'm going to get in, we call this the ankle money spot in here, where that point of my hand is going, that pisiform. It's going to get into there, so sinking in, and then I'm going to try and go in and go run along the top of that bone there, like that. Feeling it?
Oh, if you guys were feeling that, that is like the most therapeutic feeling you could get on top of your foot. Like that feels amazing.
Yeah,
so it's like connection straight away, nervy, sharp, but pleasant at the same time.
Yeah. I'm just trying to really tune into what's pushing back, and I can kind of shape my hand, so I can kind of curl it or flatten it a little bit to try and suit the shape of Darcy's foot.
Yep.
And so I can really connect, and I can sort of change angles to kind of explore. So if I go over this way a bit,
that way is getting me.
So if I go this way, maybe not as much.
Yeah, it does as well.
It does as well. So we might have to do a couple of strokes. So one like more along the medial side of this bone that lines up with the big toe, and then we might do another one that goes more more outside, so into there. So I can go do a nice slow broad stroke, kind of collects all the trauma, so it's scar tissue and stuff that's blocked, protected up and stuck from where it's healed up, but it's sort of it's not moving well enough, it's not squishy enough in different spots that allows that proper function and the flow, so there's still pain. So I'm going to do a stroke that goes right into that big toe. So around that knuckle of the big toe there, that's a really therapeutic kind of space.
Great.
To work into, like that. You go along there. Look good, Leo.
Yeah.
You liking that, brother?
It's cool.
Yeah. So I can do another one. Might actually do an elbow, just so you can kind of see a different view. So
if I open it like that.
Yeah. So I can kind of go like this. I take the slack out of my elbow skin.
Yep.
And then I can turn my hand around, and then I can kind of work along there like that.
Wow.
So right into that ankle.
Yeah.
And I can go around that way as well to get more lateral ankle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I want to have a stroke that I want to hit into this spot here and then go along inside the big toe there.
Yep.
So in there like that.
What's cool about that is I can feel it shooting out my foot. I can feel the referral pain and how that's like actually necessary. I need that treated and cleaned.
Yeah. So yeah, when we're working through this part here, I'm going to tip that this is where Darcy, that blow was, like when he kicked the shin.
The impact.
Yeah, impact. So it's going to trigger memory, you know, of that trauma. So
it is, yeah.
That's what happens when you kind of are trying to help people. Like we need to kind of go back into those traumas in a way, and if it is a blow kind of injury, that's the way it is. Like these harsh incidents that happen, they're high impact, really intense, and they're traumatic. So they kind of you relive that trauma because that pain, exact same pain, is there when you're actually trying to open up that scar tissue again, open up an old wound. But we need to do that in order to let it flow out and heal. So it's not going to change. It's going to gather more scar tissue.
More of a blockage, isn't it?
Yeah. So sometimes the body doesn't fully come back to full function, doesn't heal itself, you know, properly. So you need a bit of a hand to kind of clear that excess scar tissue, and so we've got to break.
Oh yeah, that one.
Break it down. Yeah. So I'm in around that triangular little space there where things can really collect, and we're trying to work it so I can kind of go back a little wiggle into there. Can be the thing that helps me get into that space.
Might not look like much, but what I'm feeling is all these angle changes and pressure. The pressure's pretty sustained, but it's the delivery, it's the gradual movements and the little shimmies and like angling back in. I can feel every part of it, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this as well, because there's not much flesh on top of your foot. Obviously, so it's what I feel like I'm doing. I've got to have a certain amount of connection and engagement down, but what it is, I'm more stretching. So I'm like stretching all this along the top of the foot.
Oh, just there, hold that. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah, that's good, man. It's going all the way out my toes.
So yeah, you just got to go slowly, but go at the rate that the tissue's kind of unraveling at. It's getting it done. So yeah, just in this, where the knuckle is in here, there's probably going to be some shit in there too.
Yep.
So clean that, but I can kind of hit on that second and third toe a little bit too, and clear a bit of that.
Who would have thought that you'd treat a foot with an elbow, you know, like this?
Yeah.
It's not seen. It's new. It's not new to us, but it might be new to your eyes.
So right in that toe.
There's so much in that. It's good.
Yeah. So even when I was learning about this, I used to treat my own foot, and you can do that with your heel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, I've been doing that in bed.
Yeah. The heel of your other foot
100%
can get into this, and you don't have any oil on it, but you can kind of gauge the amount of pressure and the amount of stretch you want to get on the tissue, and you kind of can be intuitive and do really good work because it's your own body. You can feel what it needs. So what I might do at this stage is get you having a little walk and do that little lunge thing, see how it feels, and then we might do a specific kind of little...
It's actually pretty cool how much that's cleaned that up, man.
Yeah.
There was a lot of change just in that.
Yeah.
If I was being picky, I'd say there's still maybe something there, but like...
Yeah, so what I might use, stand up, man.
Yep.
So we'll show you something a little bit different. So, this is real life. So there's a spot in here. So what I want Darcy to do is, I don't want him to come up onto his toes or anything, but I want you to like move your hips around, lunge, different things like that, just for a start, and see if we can exaggerate that spot. So like when you're lunging or going back, there might be a way that it opens up these spaces like there.
Oh, yep.
You know what I mean? And I can hit the tissue that is bothering him, because this is like replicating as he's stepping through. So as you're stepping through, the loads are going through, but your ability to like disperse these forces is probably different, because it's the bones can't kind of separate, and the arches that in your foot can't do their job as well as they normally can. So we can kind of replicate a bit of that loading through the foot. Okay, and then what I might get you to do, Darcy, I'm going to back off just a little bit, but then if you can kind of just step through a little bit and come up onto, lift that heel off the ground.
Yep.
So like that, and I'll just block it and hold it, and I can probably get
Oh,
into like
wow.
that. Yeah, Leo's helping me out.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's in the bottom, that's like straight under my forefoot and in my arch.
Yeah.
Yep, all in there. That's it, man.
So Darcy can kind of use me like as a massage tool now, because I can get an angle that's pretty near impossible to do on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so I can be pushing right back in there, and as he's stepping through, we can hit that calcified part, that protective part that's just stuck in there, and we can kind of hold on to it and clear it out.
Yeah.
So under a microscope right now, there'd be like gravel flying around all over the joint. So it'd be just so...
You're breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. That's something you've said that's stuck with me, and that's sort of what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, you know, sandpapering or filing.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look like you're doing anything, but then you look after a couple of minutes and just all this...
smoothness.
Yeah. It's just, why don't you... And then...
less friction.
Yeah, all that dust can be absorbed back into the bloodstream, you know, and...
Yep.
Yeah,
we probably need it somewhere, or we get rid of it through our lymphatic system.
Yeah. How's that feeling now?
Yeah, so it's really replicating the discomfort I get in the morning. Like, as I said, day to day, it hasn't been bothering me too much, but it's just that first couple of steps or first 10 minutes, and this is like right into where, it's cool what you're saying about trauma. Like, to treat trauma, you got to go into trauma. Yeah. You got to go back and experience it and clear it. It feels like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And I probably wasn't ready to have this done, you know, early days, but it's certainly necessary now. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be ready. So sometimes, like, you know, whether it's physiological or emotional, conceptual pain, you got to be ready, because when things are raw, they're still trying to harden up and strengthen up and just cope. You know what I mean? So you don't want to have somebody coming in and, you know, interrupting that process when you're just trying to get through and get strong again. So so things heal back strong, but they don't necessarily heal back functionally, you know, with that where you can perform at your normal level. So.
Yeah, well, I've just started back pre-season, 2 nights into training, Tuesday and Thursday. Today's Friday, so I trained last night. And my worry was that, I'm going to not be able to kick the footy. I'm still going to have that pain and that trauma, or it's going to catch up on me. And going into a new season, you don't want to have anything overlapping from last season that's going to deter you from performing to your best of ability. So this is a fucking God's work. He's getting me. Like, it's sharp, but it's excuse my French, it's really good.
We've I've actually moved up now, so I'm going onto the top of the foot.
Oh, fuck,
so just following
that's so
a line.
sharp. Yeah, that's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. So I just sort of intuitively felt like I felt a path that was blocked.
Yeah.
So I wanted to clear it out. So
it's not too much.
Yeah. We're just about done, mate. So.
Nah, it's really good, man.
Yeah. It's So what I might do is just come out nice and slow.
Wow.
Yeah, you can just sort of test it again, man. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's amazing because we also treat the ankle differently, or you treat the ankle differently, but without actually doing so much through the ankle. The ankle feels free as well after that, just by treating the top of the foot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, feels great, man.
That's cool. So yeah, another thing to kind of that I like to say to people when they have this sort of treatment is you're going to feel a bit bruised because there's not much flesh on there, no protection. So that feels like it's got a bruise on it for a bit.
Yeah.
So you got to realise that the body needs to have time to integrate, like clear out the stuff and then integrate, heal back up, and then kind of the body and mind kind of communicate as well that there's not that restriction there anymore, and just with movement and walking and exploring, like little hops and jumps and whatever you do, that'll kind of realise that, okay, I can heal back fully, I can have full strength in these different little muscles and tendons again, and
and strengthen it properly by being in barefoot as well. That's probably another important one. You know, we like to get on different surfaces, grass, turf, gravel, uneven rocks, and that's probably another way to heal it and strengthen it, and for things to recalibrate the way, in the most natural way.
Pure
biomechanics, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Anyway, so if you've got pain in your feet, ankles, up there, something can be done about it. Come and get some treatment if you're in Melbourne, but if you're not, get your practitioner to do this kind of stuff. If you are a practitioner and want to learn from us, we mentor you. Look in our descriptions and links and stuff, and I'm sure you'll find the courses.
It's worth learning, guys, because nobody is doing that stuff. No one in the world is treating the way Ninja just did, and it's the best. So you've got to give it a go.
It's effective.
It's effective.
Get it done.